Fans of Coronation Street are convinced they have worked out who really killed Theo Silverton, and they do not believe Summer Spellman is responsible. Instead, many viewers think another resident may have caused Theo's death by accident. Summer is currently one of 6 people linked to the mystery, alongside George Shuttleworth, Todd Grimshaw, Christina Boyd, Gary Windus, and Danielle Silverton. However, after Monday's episode strongly hinted that Summer could be guilty, some fans are certain the show is deliberately misleading viewers. Clues pointing towards Summer continue to build, including possible evidence placing her at Theo's flat and the discovery of her unsettling journal. Things also look suspicious because she admitted confronting Theo on the night he died and was the final person seen with him on screen. Although the full truth has not yet been revealed, it is obvious Summer is hiding something. She has kept quiet about her argument with Theo and appears desperate to avoid attention by planning an early move to the United States for university. Despite this, many fans believe the soap is trying too hard to convince viewers that Summer is guilty. Instead, some think she may actually be protecting the real culprit. A growing theory online suggests Sam Blakeman accidentally killed Theo during one of his hallucinations. Since Sam has been struggling with his mental health and experiencing delusions, viewers think he may have mistaken Theo for Will. One fan wrote online, "I'm saying Sam." Another commented, "I think Sam killed Theo during one of his mental health episodes." A third viewer shared, "I think Sam pushes Theo while believing he's Will and Summer is covering for him." Others pointed to a recent scene involving Sam hallucinating near the scaffolding, believing it may have been a clue from the writers. One fan posted, "Was that scene with Sam seeing things by the scaffolding hinting that he killed Theo because he thought he was Will?" The theory continued gaining support across social media, with another viewer writing, "I think Sam pushed Theo off the scaffolding while in a delusional state." Another agreed by replying, "That theory actually makes sense." One final fan added, "It's going to turn out that Sam killed Theo thinking he was attacking Will, isn't it?" Coronation Street has revealed a major new clue in the Theo Silverton murder mystery, as Summer Spellman is officially identified as Kit Green's latest prime suspect. The key piece of evidence is a blood-covered brooch that could finally connect someone to the crime scene. During tonight's episode, Kit takes a closer look through photographs taken at Lisa and Carla Connor Swain's wedding reception. While studying the images, he suddenly notices something important hidden in plain sight. Showing one of the photos to Lisa, Kit points out that the woman in the picture is wearing the same brooch that was discovered at Todd Grimshaw's flat. Realizing the significance immediately, Lisa adds the photograph to the evidence board, confirming that Summer was wearing the jewelry in question. Summer had worn the brooch while attending the wedding celebration at Underworld, making her connection to the evidence impossible to ignore. The jewelry first became important earlier this month when George Shuttleworth was questioned by police. During his interview, D.S. Connor Swain presented him with a photograph of the brooch found at the flat, explaining that it had blood on it and was being examined for DNA evidence. George denied recognizing the item and insisted he had never seen it before. The latest revelation places even more suspicion on Summer, especially after weeks of tension between her and Theo before his death. While viewers know she despised him, the mystery remains whether she was truly capable of killing him. Harriet Bibby, who portrays Summer, recently spoke about the darker direction for her character. She explained that Summer has usually appeared sensible and controlled, but can also react emotionally under pressure. The actress added that with Billy absent and Todd dealing with his own struggles, Summer has been forced to rely on herself and make difficult decisions alone. Harriet also teased that viewers would begin questioning whether Summer could actually be responsible for Theo's death. She went on to suggest there may have been a moment where Summer believed she had no choice but to defend herself. Theo had previously threatened her, even warning that he would bury her if she got in his way. According to Harriet, this could have pushed Summer into feeling that it was either her survival or Theo's. Coronation Street's recent murder storyline may have claimed Theo Silverton's life, but Maggie's own brush with death has only made her more dangerous as Megan prepares to return to Weatherfield. During the dramatic showdown on the cobbles, Maggie nearly lost her life after collapsing following a confrontation with Megan. The tense clash unfolded on a balcony and was interrupted by a distraught and conflicted Will Driscoll. Shortly afterwards, two young girls discovered Maggie lying motionless on the ground. Despite the frightening incident, Maggie survived after suffering a heart attack, news that could spell trouble for Megan. Megan had manipulated Will into an illegal relationship while hiding the truth from those around him. When police failed to gather enough evidence against her, Maggie decided to take matters into her own hands and tried to force a confession out of Megan herself. However, the confrontation spiraled out of control when Maggie shoved Megan in anger. Megan then used the situation to deceive Will into believing the fall had caused her to lose their baby, even though she had secretly ended the pregnancy herself beforehand. We'll learn the shocking truth after stumbling upon the heated confrontation between Megan and his grandmother, leaving him emotionally devastated and more confused than ever. The fallout has pushed the already fragile Driscoll family to breaking point. Maggie's relationship with her son Ben had already been strained after he discovered she had lied to him for years about his real father being Weatherfield legend Jim McDonald. Although Ben attempted to keep the peace while Maggie recovered from her heart attack, tensions remained high for the sake of Will. Things worsened further when Will's mother, Melanie, returned and was horrified to learn that her son had been groomed by his athletics coach while living under Maggie's roof. She immediately tried to take Will back to Scotland with her and pressured Maggie into helping convince Ben. Melanie also threatened Maggie with a devastating secret. Unless she cooperated, Ben would learn that Maggie had caused the death of his adoptive father, Alan, by pushing him down the stairs years earlier. Unable to hide the truth any longer, Maggie finally confessed everything to Ben last week. The revelation shattered him, and despite Maggie insisting Alan's death had been accidental, Ben threw her out of both the family and the Rovers' return. Now another crisis is looming with Megan's release from custody. Will had originally planned to run away to Paris with Megan, unaware she never intended for him to join her. A conversation with Tim Metcalf eventually helped Will realize he had been manipulated, leading him to report Megan to police. Although Megan was arrested, upcoming scenes reveal she is released on bail just as Maggie hits rock bottom. Her return raises major questions about whether she wants revenge or intends to target Will again. Ben later receives a phone call confirming Megan's release, leaving him furious. Matters become even more uncomfortable when Maggie arrives at a family lunch after being invited by Ollie. The atmosphere quickly turns tense before Ben finally reveals to Will that Megan is out on bail. Horrified, Maggie promises she will protect her grandson. But in a burst of anger, Ben then drops a devastating secret in front of Ollie and Will, seemingly exposing Maggie's involvement in Alan's death. With her family turning against her and Megan back in Weatherfield, Maggie may now be more unpredictable than ever. Coronation Street is broadcast on ITV1 on weekday evenings at 8:30 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.